Chapter 28 E-Learning. The Internet and resources available online have revolutionized medical education. They can make a significant contribution to your education program. A move to e-learning. E-learning refers to electronic learning in which instruction is delivered through a wide range of electronic means, including computer and internet-enabled learning. It is now considered mainstream medical education and is no longer a fad for the technologist or computer enthusiast, or an esoteric application used by a few innovators in the field. It has brought about a paradigm shift in the way our students learn and has become part of and integrated into most educational programs. E-learning has been shown to be capable of making a difference with regard to students' learning. Almost every student in a medical school and every trainee doctor spends part of his or her day or week online. They search for information on a topic using Google or some other search engine, communicate with a colleague or teacher, or study a unit, module, or course developed in their institution or elsewhere. Medical students will soon all have been born in the 21st century and grown up in a world of digital communication, the digital natives. Teachers born in the 20th century are the digital immigrants. E-learning activities. E-learning is recognized as being more than just technology. It has significant implications for education and includes the social dynamics of networking. The following examples illustrate the wide range of e-learning activities. Independent learning using prepared learning modules available online. Accessing information and learning resources online, e.g., YouTube or a Google search. Web-based synchronous presentation by a teacher to a group of students. Students learning together online in real time, facilitated by a tutor. Asynchronous discussion forums or chat rooms and bulletin boards. Social networks such as Facebook or Twitter. Interactive multimedia activities including games and simulations online or DVD. Virtual patients with whom the learner has to interact. Videos or audio recordings of lectures distributed through online streaming and podcasts using mobile devices such as smartphones. Reasons for adopting e-learning. E-learning encompasses a pedagogical approach that can serve as a response to the many challenges and developments confronting medical education. These include the emphasis on student-centered and individualized learning with just for you learning, just in time learning, and just the right place learning. The need for distributed learning with students learning at different sites. Access to medical studies by students from different backgrounds with programs required to cater for an increasingly diverse group of students. International dimensions and globalization with an expansion of the traditional classroom to include students from around the world. Advances in medicine with the problem of information overload and the changing emphasis from knowing a fact to knowing where to find it. Acquisition of the skills and tools that learners need to develop in order to prosper in an information society. The continuum of education from undergraduate through postgraduate to continuing medical education and the need for lifelong learning. The changing roles of a doctor during their career with the need to learn new skills and acquire new competencies. High expectations of students, the digital natives who come to medical school with more than 10,000 hours experience in e-learning. Collaborative or peer-to-peer learning, which can be significantly facilitated by social media networking. Interprofessional education with non-threatening learning opportunities online where doctors, nurses, and other members of the healthcare team can participate. Sharing of learning resources with potential financial benefits. E-learning has an important contribution to make in all of these areas and can serve as the solution or be part of the solution to the challenges. Educational features. E-learning can be designed to deliver more effectively and efficiently what can be learned using more traditional approaches. Alternatively, e-learning can help to bring about a paradigm shift in medical education and serve as a powerful response to the challenges described above. It has been suggested that, like a Trojan horse, e-learning can be introduced not just for the attributes it brings with it, but also for the hidden curricular changes included. Figure 28.1, the crisis framework for effective learning. C. Convenience makes voluntary participation easy. R. Relevance reflects the user's day-to-day role in medical practice. I. Individualization allows learners a say in what is learnt and adapt the program to their own needs. As self-assessment encourages doctors to evaluate their understanding of the subject and to remedy any gaps identified. I interest arouses attention and encourages learners to participate in the program. As systematic offers a planned program with coverage of a whole subject or an identified part of it. E-learning meets the criteria specified in the crisis framework for effective continuing education. Convenience. Students and trainees can learn anytime and anywhere. Relevance. Theory can be related to practice with on the job just in time learning. The use of virtual patients extends the learner's clinical experience. Individualization. E-learning can be redesigned to meet the needs of individual students in terms of their current requirements, their past experiences, and their learning styles. Self-assessment. Students can be assisted to assess their own competence through questions and assessment opportunities incorporated into the e-learning activity. Interest. E-learning can be dynamic, engaging, and user-friendly if properly developed. Systematic. An e-learning program can systematically cover a topic, and a curriculum map can be embodied that provides a framework for the student's learning. Distributed and distance learning. Students may be based at different sites for much of their training program. This is particularly so in clinical clerkships. Some schools have branch campuses. The availability of school e-learning resources can help to standardize the students' education experience at their different locations and make available learning resources that they could not otherwise access. Some institutions have put complete courses or modules online. A student may be able to complete a course of study almost entirely at a distance from the course provider. Students working independently have a choice of when and where they study. This may be at a central learning resource center on campus, in a peripheral training facility at a distance from the teacher and the main campus, or at home. In synchronous learning, the time is fixed and students interact live with other students or with the teacher. A typical example of this is a telephone or web conference or an online chat room. Working asynchronously, students may choose the time at which they wish to learn and communicate with other students and the teacher. Massive open online courses have attracted attention in recent years. They aim to give free access online to courses for a large audience and have been provided by some prestigious universities and commercial enterprises. Some MOOCs are available on medical topics. Two types of MOOCs have been identified. The XMOOC has well-established methods of online learning with tutorials, activities, and self-assessment exercises. The CMOOC is built on networking and connecting and sharing of information between the course participants. In line with the concept of a medical school without boundaries, MOOCs offer the possibility of separating teaching from assessment and accreditation. The extent to which MOOCs will revolutionize university medical education is controversial. E-learning offers the potential sharing of education expertise and can serve as a tool for collaboration as described in Chapter 6 and facilitate the move to a medical school without boundaries. Figure 28.2 in distance learning, the place and time of learning may be fixed or varied. Time, place, varied learning resource center, asynchronous distance learning, fixed classroom face-to-face meeting, synchronous distance learning, blended learning. There is a growing trend in medicine for a blended learning environment where the best of e-learning is combined with the best of face-to-face instruction. We see a convergence between the two learning environments, and this may be the single greatest unrecognized trend in higher education today. The challenge for the teacher or trainer is to plan a curriculum that embraces this approach. Planning a blended approach may mean reconceptualizing the role of lectures and placing a greater emphasis on independent learning. It gives the teacher the opportunity to provide students with learning experiences that might not otherwise be accessible to them and to offer a more student-centered approach to learning. In a problem-based learning discussion group, the problem may be presented to the student as an online simulation. When the need for further information is identified during small group work, students can search for this online. Some medical schools and some postgraduate bodies have made an organizational commitment to blend face-to-face and computer-based learning, while others have ignored the opportunities offered. In one school we visited, e-learning had been rejected by the teachers with no e-learning contributions scheduled in the formal curriculum. We found on talking with the students that they were making their own arrangements and on average were spending 2 hours a day online networking, emailing or studying material they had personally found on the web. E-learning is featuring more prominently in the medical curriculum and should not be ignored by curriculum planners or course designers. E-learning, the educational strategies. To be effective, e-learning requires high quality content, a robust technology, and an appropriate pedagogy. Free to e-learning is the connections created between people. When e-learning has been adopted in medical education, the tendency has been to focus on the new technology rather than on the instructional design and educational strategies. We know, however, from past experience that large investments in technology based initiatives can have disappointing results. A review of one large funding initiative in the UK concluded that inspirational e learning only results where there is a synthesis of computing, the subject, discipline, and educational expertise. The presence of these three elements is essential. Figure 28.3 Educational Strategies and E-Learning. E-learning, blended learning, conceptualized learning, intentional learning, structured learning, customized learning, cooperative learning. In the development of a blended curriculum with the e-learning and face-to-face learning integrated, careful consideration needs to be given to the educational strategies. They may not seem as sexy as cutting-edge technology, but they are key to the success of the educational program. The educational strategies should include intentional learning. The expected learning outcomes are clearly stated with an explanation of how the learning expected of the student will contribute to achieving their outcomes. Structured learning. The learning is organized with the relation between the different dimensions specified and an electronic curriculum map used for navigation. Contextualized learning. Theory is related to clinical practice. The curriculum can even be designed around a virtual medical practice with virtual patients. Customized learning. Personalized adaptive learning is provided geared to the student's individual needs. Cooperative learning. Opportunities are scheduled for collaborative learning with students working together locally and internationally.